That's a good way to wake up. What's up, Brap gang? What it do? It is your boy Brap Genius, and today I'm gonna try and teach you guys some ways on how to avoid getting into an accident on your motorcycle.
Look back and watch me smack that all on the floor. Smack that, give me some more. Smack that till you get sore. Smack that, oh, smack that all on the floor. Smack that, give me some more. Smack that till you get sore. Smack that, oh.
What's up, officer? How you doing today, bro? So a lot of you guys have been commenting on my videos that, you know, I'm a big reason why you got into riding, and that's incredible. That is, you know, that's what this channel is for. That's why I started this channel, to get other people into riding. So when I hear things like that, it really makes my day. I also feel somewhat responsible though when you guys get on the road or on the dirt, because, you know, I'm the reason that you guys got into riding. Or even if not, I'm still making videos about, you know, riding. So I want you guys to be safe out here on the streets. So I want to give you guys some tips to help you avoid crashing. So the first tip would be always anticipate that everybody around you is going to do the wrong thing. And you may say, well, that's kind of being paranoid, but you know what? You gotta be aware. You gotta anticipate people doing the wrong thing. That's how you're gonna avoid accidents. So for example, with that, the most common accident with motorcycles and other vehicles like cars and stuff is they'll be making a left-hand turn. So they'll be coming toward us and then making a left in front of us, and they don't see the motorcycle and they end up crashing into us, or we hit them. And to avoid that, you know, that usually happens when you're in an intersection or something. So a good way to avoid that is when you come up to intersections, guys, just slow down. Usually on motorcycles we're speeding. Well, no matter what kind of bike you have, you're usually going a little bit over the speed limit. So what you want to do is you just want to slow down when you're coming up to that intersection, because then it'll give you more time to brake or more time to react if you need to swerve out of the way or anything else. Now, another big tip that I can give is when you're on any road like this, you know, other cars can cut you off coming out from the right side. So if I'm coming up, like this is a street sign up here, so say there's a car pulling out, I'll move over here towards the shoulder so they can see me, and then once I know they see me, I'll move back away from them in case they do decide to pull out anyway. And then the same thing when they're making a left turn in an area that's not an intersection. Like I have these big cars in front of me, so what I'll do is I'll move over to the left like this. See, that car could see me a lot sooner than he would have been able to if I was over here. He wouldn't have seen me at all if I was over here. So if he was going to make the left into that library and I was on the right side by the shoulder, he probably wouldn't have seen me. But if I stayed to the left, he would have seen me and he probably would not have cut in front of me. Another big thing, guys, is don't go over your limits. You all know your limits in terms of riding, especially if you're a new rider. You know, you're going to get some confidence after a little bit. Once you know what you're doing, you're going to feel confident, and that's great. But there's a difference between confidence and cockiness, and you got to be aware of that, and you have to be careful. Because if you get too cocky, that's when you go over your limits and you crash. It's okay to push your limits, you know, you play on the line a little bit, but you don't want to go over your limits. And a good example of that is at night. When you're riding at night, guys, you gotta slow it down because you can't see as well. I don't care if you have, you know, the blue Xeon headlight, whatever, you can't see as well. It's harder to anticipate everything. So when you go around a corner too fast, you're way more likely to eat it. Another good way to avoid, you know, crashing is to practice situations where you would have to swerve out of the way. Like if there's a log or something in the road, just practice quick maneuvering, having to get out of the way. Or anticipate that cars are going to come out in front of you and practice hard braking. Practice having to swerve out of the way if the car is going to cut you off or something. You know, the more you prepare yourself, the more ready you're going to be for when that situation comes. Alright, so another big place where you guys are going to, you know, encounter places where there are going to be accidents is the highway. And that's where you want to be the safest, because that's most likely where you're going to be the fastest. So when you're on a highway, what I always try to do is always give yourself an exit point. You don't want to be stuck in between four cars, one in front of you, one behind you, two to your sides, because then if one of them merges, you're going to get hit. So you always want to give yourself a place to exit. Now also, like let's say there's a car to my right. We have a quick little bit of highway here. So if a car is on my right side and I have a car in front of me, you don't want to be in their blind spot at all. So what I would do is I'd stay behind them, give the car in front of me enough space to where they're like really far ahead of me, and then when I have to pass the car that's here in the right lane, then I gas it. Because that way you're in their blind spot for as minimal amount of time as possible, and they're way less likely to merge into you. And you also don't want to be too close to the people in front of you in case they brake check for whatever reason. People behind you, you can't control what they're doing, but you know, on the highway you can switch lanes if they're really riding you, and you don't want that, obviously, because then if God forbid you all have to stop, they're gonna smash right into you. But yeah guys, that's probably gonna do it for this one. I'm pretty much at work now, so hopefully I gave you guys some good tips. I'm gonna get more videos out. I've got a couple lined up. I actually do have some that are recorded now, and they're gonna be dropping soon. So thanks for watching guys, stay safe, and as always, have a great day. Peace.